So good evening, members, and welcome to this extraordinary meeting of the Council. Hopefully a short meeting, but nevertheless important, certainly for the residents and electors of Greenham Parish. I'm Councillor Rick Jones, Chairman of the Council. The meeting is being live streamed via YouTube, at least at the moment, so members of the public are able to follow proceedings. Council members are present in the chamber for this meeting. Any members of the council who are in attendance remotely, which I don't believe there are, they won't be invited to speak. The officers in attendance are the Chief Executive, Nigel Lynn, Executive Director for Resources, Joseph Holmes, the Executive Director for People, Paul Coe, and the Interim Executive Director for Place, Eric Owens. I'm assisted by David Cook, the clerk to the meeting, and by Lizzie Reeves, who will be acting as the Zoom host. As usual, if we hear the evacuation alarm this evening, we will leave the building immediately and proceed via the safe emergency exit route. If the lockdown alarm sounds, we will remain seated and await instructions from officers. I'll now ask the monitoring officer to outline how the meeting will be conducted.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, members. Can everyone present in the chamber please ensure that they switch on their microphones when invited to speak, that they speak directly into them and switch them off when finished. Can I please also request that members and anyone else in the chamber remember to switch off the mobile phones to silent and also have the sound turned off on your laptops. Voting today will be by way of a show of hands, and if we need to adjourn the meeting at any point, the chairman will adjourn and will advise as to the revised time and date of the meeting. Do any members have any questions regarding the procedures this evening? No, thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. We'll move straight to item 1 on the agenda, then, which is apologies for absence.
Thank you, Chairman. We have received apologies this evening from councillors Tony Linden, Nasser Hunt, Alan Macro, Royce Longton, Hilary Cole, James Cole, Jeff Beck, Jeff Cant, James Cole, Clive Hooker, Gareth Hurley, Ross McKinnon, Graham Pask, Claire Rolls, Garth Simpson, Andrew Williamson and Martha Vickers. I don't know if there've been any other apologies. Oh. Sorry, I also waved at Councillor Hooker before the meeting started, so apologies to Councillor Hooker. I don't know if there are any other apologies from the floor. No. Thank you, Chairman.
Even with Councillor Hooker's presence, that's still the longest list of absentees I've ever seen. So, do we have any declarations of interest, please?
There've been none received in advance, Chairman. Councillor Abs.
Yeah, I guess I should declare that I'm a Greenham Parish councillor, so this is of direct consequence this evening. Sorry. Yeah.
Chairman, as the only ever so far elected member for Sandalford Ward in the parish of Greenham, I suppose I should declare an interest, as I'm about to, I was abolished when I resigned, but the position is abolished by proposal.
Thank you.
Chairman, I'm also a member of Greenham Parish Council as well.
Thank you, Councillor.
And I wish I could. Yeah.
Is that it, members? So, yeah, looks like it. In which case, we'll move straight to item 3, which is the main business of the evening, which is the request for approval of the LGBCE consented reorganisation order for the governance arrangements for Greenham Parish. Can I invite Councillor Brino to move the report, please?
So moved, Chairman.
Do I have a seconder?
I second the motion.
Thank you. Councillor Marino, would you like to introduce the report?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I'm not planning on saying a great deal. The documents before us are very clear in setting out the background to this matter. In essence, there are currently 2 wards in Greenham Parish, Common and Sandalford. However, Sandalford ward only has 6 electors, despite having 5 parish council seats. And we therefore have a recommendation before us this evening, following a lot of work and effort by officers, the parish council and others to abolish the current wards and divide the parish into two new wards called Common and Racecourse. I want to sincerely thank everybody involved in this for their hard work and hope the council will approve these recommendations this evening.
Thank you, Councillor Marina. Do you wish to speak now, Councillor Vickers, or later?
I'll reserve my right in case somebody else wants to speak.
Okay. In which case, I'll open it up for debate. Councillor Barnett.
Sorry, Chairman, are you calling me now?
I am indeed.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Chairman, members. The parish of Greenham was originally a completely rural area, but over the years, due to many new developments, it's become now a mix of rural and urban, encompassing large properties along with very small units. And of course, with the addition of many flats and apartments. The demographics have changed, resulting in single occupancy to very large families. Although many developments during the last decades have been sited primarily within the Crookham and the old, what we called Greenham ward area, one of the most recent developments, of course, is the Newbury Racecourse. This has completely changed the makeup of the parish, and therefore the representation from, at the present time, I think it's 1,262 elected residents who have registered, of course, to have their say at parish level. That, of course, is just a start, and there's going to be considerable number increase to that in the future. The proposals that we have in front of us tonight, of course, will be including these nominated 5 representatives within the parish, or what will be the Racecourse parish, which were originally, of course, set aside for what we, or at least some of us, were expecting within the Sandalford area. But of course, within the Greenham parish part of Racecourse, of course, these Racecourse residents at the moment can, if they so wish, put their own names forward to become members of the old Greenham parish. But within these proposals, of course, they will have their right to actually nominate up to 5, which we would hope that they would be able to find, of course. But that to me seems a very sensible way forward, because at the moment, of course, unless they really show interest in the original old Greenham parish, they won't have any representation. So I very much welcome these proposals, and I think my fellow ward members do as well. So I would like to see this proposal put forward tonight and accepted. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Barnett. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I don't see any hands, so in which case I'll turn to Councillor Vickers.
Thank you, Chairman. This has been over 10 years since I first thought that something needed to be done. And that's because it was over 10 years ago that the Sandalford development was formally approved. And being a geographer, I immediately looked at the boundaries that were affected. And the parish boundary between Newbury and Greenham ran slap through the middle of that development. And I felt that was not right, but that if it was going to happen, then somebody needed to represent the Greenham bit of that development. And as it was within the Wash Common District Ward, when I stood for election in 2019, I thought, well, I'll stand for Wash Common District seat and the Sandalford seat in Greenham Parish. It was a bit of a struggle to get my nomination papers signed. I did find a couple who should be nameless, because they didn't vote in the end, but they signed my nomination paper. So when it came to the count, excitement, was rising as the Sandalford Parish Ward boxes were emptied. And when the seal was broken on the Sandalford Ward box in GB3, nothing came out. So clearly, as we are no further on with the numbers of voters 4 years later, colleagues, I think this is a good idea. I did have one concern, which is that at the time of the district ward boundary review, And I was in correspondence with the relevant officer at the Boundary Commission. And it seemed to me that one was not allowed to have two parish wards in two different district wards, that was the reason, something to do with the reason why they created 5 parish councillors. So I did think that perhaps we were going to need to keep one parish councillor to represent what hopefully within the next 4 years will be considerably more than 6 members. Because actually it's not just the Sandalford development that is now on the cards. We have a development of what's called Mayfield Court, which is the slice of land between the college and the A339 that could well be occupied before anything on Sandalford. So once I was reassured in the correspondence that I only saw a couple of weeks ago, Sarah Clark gave me an advance copy of that, BC had no problem with it. I'm sure this is the best outcome because it's the racecourse development, which has it's a unique sort of development in that the council is not responsible for most of the necessary infrastructure that the racecourse residents benefit from. If you can say that, having regular entertainment on your doorstep blasting into your windows is a benefit. But anyway, they shouldn't have chosen to live there. That's what they looked at the details. Anyway, back to the issue. So this is unfinished business because I still think that we may need to look at the bigger picture of the parish and town boundaries in the Newbury area and indeed in other parts of the districts. And I know there was a time last summer when officers felt that we might go for a district-wide community governance review, which I was a bit scared that would just delay this one minor matter that needed urgent attention before this coming election. So I think that's all I need to say, except to correct 3 things. In the minutes of the annual meeting where this came up, which I should have read with more care at the time, it says that I proposed that it should be in one council area, Sandalford that is. But no, I'm pretty sure I proposed that it should be in one district ward area, and that's what's happened. Also, it says that nobody was elected for the Sandalford ward, and as I've described, I was elected, albeit with 0 votes. And finally, in Schedule 1, column 5, the common ward will, I think, have at least 200 more electors by the next election. But that's just a nitpicking detail. Thank you, Chairman. That's enough.
Thank you, Councillor Vickers. Councillor Marino, do you want to make any concluding remarks?
No, I've got nothing further to add, Chairman.
In which case, I will now ask the monitoring officer to conduct a vote by show of hands on the report ahead of you.
Thank you, Chairman. Can I please ask all members in favour of the proposal to raise their hands now? Thank you, Chairman. I believe that is unanimously carried.
Superb, members. That's a most conclusive agreement we've had for a long time. So with that, I will close the meeting. And